Today's the day I've been waiting for. My dad and I have been waiting for a few weeks now. Today's bee day, so we're gonna go pick up our bees. We're gonna go meet with my dad, and then we're gonna install them here in, I don't know, a couple hours or so. But bees are about 30 minutes away, and we're gonna walk you through installing bees in our hives. It's been a little rainy and stormy early this morning. As you can see, there's our apiary down there. But we're gonna walk you through the steps of installing three 3-pound packages of bees and queens. We got 1 Saskatraz and 2 Italians. We're gonna be installing them in 10 frame deeps brood boxes, and feeding them Pro Sweet. My dad's gonna mess around with some insulation in his, and then we've got a third box that I can't show you the inside of it yet. It's a product that we're developing, and hope to have to market sometime soon. So, and hopefully you can follow along, and maybe we can provide some information that'll help you. Once again, as I say in a lot of these videos, we're not here to be the experts by any means. There's a lot of smarter people out there than us, but this is how we've decided to do it, for good or for bad. And I hope that we learn from any mistakes we make, and maybe we can help you guys out there that are so graciously watching these videos learn something too. So this is our setup, as I've shown before, but we've got the solar fence there. This is to help keep bears out. We don't have a lot of bear problems, but we don't want to mess around. They got in here, they'd pretty much just destroy all of our hives that we have here up by the house. But they swing you around here. But we've got the houses right up there, so we can kind of catch a good view of these from the house. So if we ever had any problems, we'd certainly be able to tell. There's our dog coming. But we've decided to put these 2 platforms together. I don't know if they're going to work or not. They might end up being too high. I guess that's my real only worry, but I'd rather have them up off the ground, keep critters out of them. And at least as we're dealing with the brood chambers, we can easily work them and inspect them and have a nice dry spot for them. So, looking forward to installing these bees. So I just wanted to quick go over our box setup prior to getting the bees. It's a good idea to make sure that you go out, have your stuff set up in advance. In this case, we've got 2 deeps, small opening installed in the bottom. This is the inner cover, and then we just do the telescoping top on top of it, and then there's 10 frames in this bottom brood box, and there's nothing up here. And the reason we don't have anything up here is we've got a insulated minnow bucket with a gravity feeder. And so you can put your 1-to-1 syrup mixture or whatever your ratio is. We use Pro Sweet. There's some studies out there that show that it adds a little bit, or I should say it aids in the bee's ability to kind of grow a little quicker. So we choose that. And like I say, it goes in an empty brood box here. Got this inner cover right here. And then 10 frames of our wax dipped plastic base. And so our inner covers have a little notch in them. In the summertime, typically we have them down like this, so there's another escape for the bees to come out. In this case, we're going to close that off, and we don't have to worry about this top opening here, because the syrup feeder goes right over the top of it. And I'll eventually take this handle off, that way this insulated bucket can seal a little easier onto that top of that inner cover. Another deep box, empty. and then your telescoping cover. And this hive is pretty much ready for bees. So some of the tools that you'll need is some PPE. Some people like to dump their bees in, not using it. I prefer. I'm not super skilled beekeeper at this point, but I feel it's a good added security blanket. But just got our hood and jacket, some I think they're goat skin gloves, a bee brush in case we had to brush off any of the bees off of anything. This is my hive tool, but I know some people like using this one with the little hook as well. Either one will work, of course. We'll be feeding our bees here for at least a few weeks, so we've got a feeder pail ready to go with an insulated bucket, and that'll end up going in this top hive body here upside down, and then feeding the bees through that top inner cover, and then of course a smoker to calm them down. Another thing that we'll have is a sprayer, like a little squirt bottle that we can mist out 1-to-1 sugar water to kind of calm the bees down too. So this is the kind of basic tools that you'll need to install your first package of bees, and we're gonna zip off here soon and go pick up our bees. They're about 30 miles from here. Because of COVID, we were told some pretty specific directions on picking up our bees. We couldn't get out of vehicle, and they were to hand over all of the stuff that we were buying. So in this video, we're just picking up our bees.
There's 2 of us, though.
And what's the first name?
Mike. Yep, and then Jim's behind me.
All right, so Jim's got 1 Saskatraz, and you got two Italians, right?
Yep.
The place that we ended up getting our bees from had a pretty organized system, especially with COVID-19 going on. We didn't have to get out of the vehicle. We ultimately just told them what we had on a piece of paper, gave them money for any additional stuff that we wanted, in this case pollen patties, some insulated buckets and such, and we were off and on our way. Well, we've got the bees now. That was a bit of a hectic situation with this COVID stuff. We couldn't get out of vehicles. We had to have everything already labeled. Everyone had some masks on, but there they are. I don't know if you can hear them buzzing or not, but they're buzzing away. So, and my dad has just picked up his. Go out! So we're gonna go home and get these loaded up. Alright, so we got the bees home safe. I had 3-4 of them flying around in my truck the whole way back, but we're going to check in with my dad here.
Hi everyone, I'm Jim with Kinnickinnick Bees, and welcome to our adventure. We just picked our bees up. I think Mike might have told you that. Here's mine. These are the Saskatraz bees, and I think we got 3 pounds of them. We just picked them up an hour or so ago. It's the 7th of April. It's a nice day. It's about 60, 62 degrees, something like that. But we're in the middle of this coronavirus, so I don't know about Mike, but I've been watching like 100 different videos on beekeeping. And again, this is our first venture into this sport, or this hobby. So you can see these guys they're humming along pretty good. So let me set this down and I'll close this up. And we'll take them over and we'll get our bees in a hive. So here we are. We've got everything laid out. We've got the hive opened up. I do want to show you this. What I've done is I've taken some frames out of the middle, and we've put an insulating piece in here. We've got the plywood top and bottom to protect the, just because it's going to be cold in the next few nights. And so we're basically just making a nook out of this full-size hive so we don't have to transfer it from a nook to this. Again, this is our first experience with this, and so we're not exactly sure how everything is going to go here. So that's why you see these things here. I know some of you that know what you're doing are going to look at that and say, what the heck did they do? But that's what that is, insulated. This is a little very, very expensive thing I bought to hang the queen with. That's okay, I think it'll work out good. So we've got everything ready, except we're going to fill the feeder pail up with this Pro Sweet liquid feed. We got a 5-gallon jug here, so we've opened this up already, so it's just got the temporary lock on it. So, oh, this is heavy. So we're just gonna pour this in here. It's really thick, it's almost like maple syrup. I'm gonna get a little better hold of this because it is so heavy. I think I'm going to fill this about half full, don't you think, Mike? Huh?
Yeah, I would go maybe halfway.
Tell me when it's in. It looks pretty good, huh? A little more?
Yeah. There you go.
Alright. I suppose I should have rolled it like you do with a glass of wine, or a bottle of wine. Alright, so let's get the cover ready for this. We've taken the handles off so they fit in the insulator. You can see how small these holes are. There we go. All right, so we mixed some water and some Pro Sweet here. We're going to pull the can out of there right now, get the queen out of there, and we'll spray the bees down. I watched several videos that recommend you have a bee towel, and of course you know that this is a bee towel because it says it says bee towel on it. Before we pull the can out, I'm going to spray them down and quiet them down a little bit. This is a diluted. Boy, right away you can hear that it quieted them down. Boy, it did quiet him down too.
Give him a... There you go.
So this has a full-size cork in it. Here's the queen. This is a Saskatraz queen. Boy, she's buzzing. Got a teeny-weeny marshmallow. If we tip her up, she goes up, so that's kind of good. I got the cork out of there. There's a cork on the ground there. Huh? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this. Get a little bit of... Yeah, this is better. That gives you... Oh, this is really wet. This is going to go quick. So we'll put her down there. All right. Now, because I haven't done this before, we're going to... All right, here we go. Where's the brush at?
Here, there. There you go.
I think I'm going to move her over here in the middle. So I'm going to put a pollen pad in here, and I'll put it down here at this end. Actually, I'll put it this way so they can get at this one end. We'll put the insulator. It's going to get cold here, not necessarily tonight, but tomorrow night we'll put this on there. All right, then our outer telescoping cover. Now,
So we got one set of the bees installed, and now we are going to install these other two. We're going to just start with the one. Probably won't show you the loading of the third one just because that's that special bee box or beehive.
it's a heavy burn.
Yeah, it might be. This is a 5-gallon. Might be beneficial to get like some sort of 5-gallon little pump if you've got a few hives to feed, which we're not really sure how much we're going to go through, but half seems sufficient about right now. What were these, gallon buckets?
Yep.
Yeah, so out of our 3 buckets we've only used about that much, so I would say 2 gallons we've used total. Alright, so we're set to take the hive apart and install the bees. So I'm going to take 2 of the frames out. And these are foundation base, wax dipped. Nothing's built out yet, so these bees are going to be busy the next couple of weeks. So I got my marshmallows ready to stuff into the queen cage. Little wasp there. Push him off. So what I'm going to do is spray them down with that syrup water. Tap. Get all the bees on the bottom. Get that cage back in. So here's the queen. She looks like she's doing just fine. That bee on the other hand does not. So we're going to remove the cork, put a marshmallow in here. Got a little knife here on me. I'm going to set her down for a sec. Yep, and these are the Italian bees, as my dad whispered to me. The trick is to get this cork out without releasing her. So I'm gonna try to get this started here so I can grab it. There. And then I'm gonna make sure she gets on that other end. There she goes. Stuff this full of that marshmallow. Make sure it's not stuck to my finger. There we go. You can kind of see it in the cage. I don't know if you can in that view or not, but we're just gonna hang her right here on the frame. And then I'm gonna put a frame up against her, and then once we release her, once she gets released, we'll come back in a couple days and put these frames all back together. So I'm gonna spray them one more time before I release them all into their new home. Give them another tap. Actually, I'm gonna take one more frame out here. That's most of the bees, and then I'll set the cage right in the front here. Put some frames in there gently. You don't want to squish them bees. And I'm just going to leave that one extra frame out here. Alright, get the inner cover on, and then I'm going to leave the notch up and out the back there, this notch here. Get the empty brood box on top. Take our syrup. There's no bees to trap in here yet. So all the bees are in there. Oh, same mistake you did. I forgot the pollen patty. So we gotta put the pollen patty back in here. Or in here. I'm just gonna flip this up. There we go. The pollen patty fits just nicely under that cover. Any bees that are trapped in here, they can come out this upper hole cover. Put the insulator on for when it gets cold here at night. And install the telescoping cover. There you have it. One set of bees in their home. So we got the bees installed. A couple things reflecting on kind of our process. The cages that we actually had do have a side entry. You just pop it open. We decided to just dump it like a normal box, but that could have aided in a little easier way to get the bees out of the box. Other than that, I think the day went pretty good. We're going to give it a day or so to check on the queen, make sure she got released and that the hives have accepted her. But otherwise, bees are doing pretty good. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Feel free to write any comments. As always, once again, we're not here to say we're the experts, because we're certainly not. But hopefully, our experience can teach you a couple things, or even some good things, some bad things, what to do, what not to do. In this case, maybe one of the things to do would be to open the side of that cage instead of tipping it from the top. So please subscribe and follow us, and look forward to more videos.